It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COMMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four and invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time to grow together. It's that Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time to grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion in your elixir. Got devotion to all those who keep on showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James McQuiggan. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gon' get through all these issues. Time for jaw jacking, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave and feeling charged. It's that Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's that Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Friday, June 20th, 2025. This is episode 903 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour, me, you, Port Zero in the upstate, SC Cole, Blood, Sweat, and Rage, Elliot Matisse, Phil Stafford in the San Francisco connection, Marcus Kyler in the Yeet crew, Poner Joe in the Pennsylvania contingent, Alana Boyajian in the GRC Mafia, Marcus Kyler, Patrick Moss, Jesse Johnson, Cosmic Cowboy, the mod team, guys. We are all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be doing everything within my power alongside this supercharged sippy cup, going through these stories, going beyond the headlines, not just briefing you on the current top news you need to know about, but going beneath the headlines and data mining value for you as a security practitioner so you can understand how to utilize this information to be the CEO of you and really shine like the star you are at work, driving cyber risk reduction down for your business stakeholders, whether it's tactical by, yo, stop everything and go patch this thing ASAP, all the way to a strategic decision around, hey, you know, we should really think long-term about migrating to zero trust architecture based on these factors, right? Whatever it is, A, it's going to make you better at your job. B, it's going to make you more marketable on the open market. And C, if you're looking to break into the industry, if you are kicking mud holes in the interview because of all the information you know that you gleaned from this show, well, all the better for you, my friend. I am super happy for you. Get in here. There's room for everyone at any level of your career journey, and that includes people who are looking to start their career journey. Giddy up, Simply Cyber, support, inclusion, empowerment. It's what we're all about. Now, one thing we're not all about is researching for the show in advance. I don't do that. The stories we're about to cover, I have no freaking idea what they are. Do you know why? I'll give you one hint.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's correct. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, honestly, every practitioner that's worth their salt does stay current, does go through the briefings, and I do it myself even before I turn the camera on. So this is the real workflow. This is what you're getting. It's rough, it's rugged, it's raw, but it is legit. I also want to remind you today is Friday. So friends who are regulars know every Friday is Dad Joke Friday, where James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, longtime Simply Cyber community member and a dear friend of mine, brings us the rib ticklers that would make everyone groan, especially Gen Z. But you know what? We love it. and he's got a whole host of jokes for us today. So stay tuned for that at the Midroll. I do want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring this show to you. Now, normally we talk about Barricade Cyber and their Fortify 365 solution, but let me tell you something special that Barricade Cyber is doing. This is a one-off opportunity that you need to get on top of. I'm going to drop a link in chat right now so you can bring it up. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to click on it. If you're on LinkedIn, you will need to come over to YouTube to scoop this up. Eric Taylor and the team at Barricade Cyber are giving essentially a workshop webinar. Okay, this is a live webinar talking about unraveling Microsoft Entra token protection. Now, Microsoft Entra is Azure's version of AD effectively. Like, they came up with funny names, but basically it's Azure Active Directory, which controls identity and resource permissioning in the cloud, right? Ooh, the big scary cloud. Well, how do you do this? Eric is going to walk you through a 45-minute deep technical webinar around conditional access token protection, a main technique for thwarting token theft attacks. So this is a very specific webinar with a very specific skill. Eric Taylor's basically going to turn into Liam Neeson from the movie Taken. He's going to be like, I have a very special set of skills, and it involves Microsoft Entra token protection. All right, so check it out. It's June 26th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Check your calendar, June 26th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If I had to guess, this is absolutely free to attend. Barricade Cyber giving to the community. So go check that out. And I dropped a link in chat. It's pinned on the YouTube chat. If you need it, ping at Kimberly Can Fix It or ping at Eric Taylor, and they will be able to hook you up. I also want to say shout out and thank you so much to Antisyphon Training. Guys, you know Antisyphon Training. John Strand, Zach Hill, Kathy Chambers, Daniel Lowry, they're bringing the heat. You want to talk about people who really embody the Simply Cyber community core values. This company, this team, wow. Really inspiring me, honestly, to be better and make Simply Cyber Academy as value impact as possible. They are bringing cutting-edge education to everyone in the cybersecurity community, regardless of financial position. If you would like to see what they have, including classes that cost $0, and I want to point out, just because their courses can cost $0 does not mean that the courses are worthless. It's actually quite the opposite. They're worth a lot. They are super valuable. They just want to make it accessible to as many people as possible, regardless of your socioeconomic status. Go to antisyphontraining.com and look at their upcoming courses. Many of you were taking the Active Defense and Cyber Deception course this week with John Strand. I did ask in chat what people's experiences were. I didn't end up seeing your responses, so I would like to know what your experiences were. But go to antisyphontraining.com. Links in the description below. As always, I want to remind you, what the crap? Hold on one second. Hold on. Jeepers creepers. This is how you get to see. You know what? You literally, you fix the camera, right? You fix the camera, and then you don't double check all the different scenes, and then this is what happens. Elliot Matisse, this is why we can't have nice things. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, boo? All right, hold on. Let me fix this live. You guys are seeing how the sausage is made here. Hold on one second. There we go. And now I got to drag this. Oh, start a podcast, they said. It'd be easy, they said. People will love it, they said. All right. So check it out. I forget even what I was going to say now. Oh, every resource I mention is in the description below, except the Barricade webinar, which is what I told you to get with Kimberly or Eric. So everything, Antisyphon, Delete Me, ThreatLocker, Flare, they're all in the description below. It does help the channel a lot if you do go check out those sponsors. I promise you I have pre-screened and vetted these sponsors and will not direct you towards a crappy solution, crappy people, or crappy product. I promise you. All right, guys. We've also got ThreatLocker. We're going to run them right before the mid-roll. Hey, Oscar Navas. Thanks for the squad membership. Guys, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE, so say what's up in chat, grab a screenshot, and file it away. Once a year, count the screenshots, divide by 2. That is how many CPEs you get. It's very, very easy. Now listen, really quickly, because people get confused about this. I cannot submit your CPEs for you. That's on you. All I can do is do instructor-led webinars that feed you CPEs, okay? Your Marshawn Lynch, excuse me. This is a deep cut. You're Marshawn Lynch, okay? And I'm the quarterback, and I'm feeding you, okay? But you have to take the ball, the CPEs, and you got to run with it. You know what I mean? Who's the other one? He was for the Dallas Cowboys for a number of years, and then he went to the Patriots. I've been so disgusted by the Patriots front office that I like choose to forget this guy's name. He was a running back. Anyways, feed you, okay? So take the CPEs. You're already earning them. It's all about good times. Hey, the final thing I'll say before we rip through the Threat Locker ad and jump in. Oh, thank you, Space Tacos. Listen, if today is your first episode, you picked a banger. It's episode 903. There's a huge back catalog if you're interested. There's over 2,000 videos on the channel full of cybersecurity goodness to help you level up no matter what you are. We have things on the channel on how to go from being a rabbi to a pen tester. We have things more vague like how to get into GRC in 2025. I've done everything in my power to make as much content that is perfect for your situation, whatever your situation is. Go check it out. But if you're here right now, if you're a regular, drop a hashtag TeamSC in chat. But if you're a first timer, drop a hashtag first timer. Put it in chat. Use your little fingers on the keyboard. Use your little thumbs on the mobile device. Hashtag first timer, because we have a special sound effect, a special emote. And the squad members, the people who are going to make it rain with hashtag TeamSC, they have access to a John McClane from Die Hard emote, and they are going to spam you with it in the most loving way possible. It's a little bit of a Simply Cyber virtual hug. Come on now. All right, guys, let's do the Threat Locker ad read, and then we're going to rip apart the news like a bunch of bosses. Let's go. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. All right. In the Matthew McConaughey voice as best I can. Thank you, Threat Locker. I also want to say shout out to Delete Me, but more about those beautiful babies at the Midroll. For everybody else in here, I didn't see any first timers. Maybe I missed it, but a lot of Team SC. Genuinely appreciated everybody. It's great to have you here. I'm super excited. But now all I ask is something very simple, a very small ask of you. Sit back, relax, and let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll see you all at the Midroll. Let's cook.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, June 20th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. Cisco and Atlassian fix high-severity vulnerabilities. Cisco's recent release is related to firmware updates for Meraki devices. The vulnerability in question affects the AnyConnect VPN server and could allow attackers to make these products restart, leading to a denial of service condition. This vulnerability has a CVE number and a CVSS score of 8.6. The bug can be exploited remotely. Atlassian has, quote, announced patches for 5 vulnerabilities in third-party dependencies in Bamboo, Bitbucket, Confluence, Crowd, and Jira, end quote. These also have CVE numbers which are listed in the show notes. to this episode.
All right. Okay, so I guess starting off the show low and slow. Sometimes we start off with a bang, like it's a starship taking off and then exploding gloriously in the sky. By the way, I saw that in the news. I assumed that there was no humans aboard that, which is why I'm making light of it. If there were humans on that, I desperately would like to retract that comment. But I saw it. It looked amazing. And sometimes we leave like we're exiting a harbor. No wake zone. Nice putting until we hit open water and then we buzz. That's what we're doing here. High severity vulnerabilities are very serious, right? Now the high severity, here, let me do this right. Let me just address the headline and then let me give you extra value, okay? Cisco, Atlassian, specifically the Meraki AnyConnect VPN concentrators for Cisco. So, I mean, it does say Cisco, but what it really should say is AnyConnect or Meraki. They have a vulnerability in it that needs to be patched. The Cisco Meraki one is basically a denial of service attack. They can cause the thing to basically get into an infinite boot loop. Boot loops aren't sexy, but they get the job done. Many enterprise customers, think like 10, 15, 20,000 end users will use AnyConnect. Like that Meraki, I didn't know it was Meraki, honestly, but the AnyConnect I'm well aware of. And the AnyConnect VPN server, I mean, we use that at Booz Allen. I've seen it used at other large enterprises. So, you could effectively, if you ran a large enterprise, you could effectively have all your remote workforce unable to access internal resources, which last time I checked is something you don't want. So anyways, this is pretty straightforward to patch. Let me check the CVE score. Well, CVE 2025-20271. Give me a second. This is a tool by Barricade Cyber Solutions that I enjoy using. It's at epslookup.com. CVE 2025-20271. We're going to check that score. This has a 0.08% chance of being exploited in the next 30 days. Meaning, the way that I would use this, and as a CISO, like the way I would use this is I would advise my networking team, hey, listen, there is a vulnerability around this AnyConnect VPN server. Make sure that you're addressing this during the next patch window, right? Patch windows should happen monthly. This one, because it is an internet-facing, I would call it a mission-critical service, VPN access. You would have to schedule some type of change management or configuration management, notify that there could be a downtime. If you're a resilient organization, you likely have many or multiple of these AnyConnect VPN servers to allow for resiliency, i.e. one fails, you don't lose the service altogether. So I don't normally throw darts at people, but you would have to be a complete bonehead to pull down all of your servers at the same time to patch. There's a reason you have multiple. Do them in iterations. Patch this one, then put it back up. So now your production one is patched. Then patch your load balance VPN server or your hot swap VPN server, whatever it is, whatever your architecture is. Just don't pull everything down unless you're feeling Leroy Jenkins and you're like, oh, dude, who gives a it'll only take Here's my thing. This is a problem I have seen people do, okay? I don't know what I'm going to say on this show, okay? Here is something that I've seen people do and I have done, okay? So I'm going to wear the egg on this one. Let me know in chat with a hashtag preach, if you will. Let me do. You got to patch it. Drop a hashtag preach if you've ever done this. Listen, this AnyConnect VPN service, you've got to patch it. Okay, no big deal. Maybe the patch takes 2 minutes, right? And you're like, what's the big deal? If the VPN service goes down, people can't connect, but it's only 2 minutes. Who gives a damn? I'll do it Thursday night. Or since it's not a big deal, I'll just do it at lunchtime. No big deal, right? I can't tell you. It's happened multiple times in my life. I don't know the amount of times, but I can't tell you the amount of times I've told management, oh, that'll take 5 minutes. I'll just knock it out. That'll take 5 minutes. Or, oh no, we'll just patch it. It'll patch really quick. It'll reboot. No big deal. And then you like push it over and it doesn't stand back up. Or you reboot it and it doesn't come back up. Or you apply something and it breaks something downstream. And now all of a sudden, you've got Guns N' Roses' worst album, The Spaghetti Incident, on your hands, and you can't back it up because a lot of times you didn't think of a rollback procedure because you're like, who gives a damn? It's only going to take a few minutes. And then all of a sudden you got management knocking on your door, and Will is like, Jerry, what are we doing? Why are things down? And it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm well aware of that, Will. Thanks. Like, I got that. You know what I mean? Like, do you see the sweat? Do you see the anxiety? Do you see the paleness of my skin? I know I'm really pale to begin with, but do you notice that I look like I'm a zombie? It's because I'm anxious right now. Can you get on all the way off my back, right? So be careful. Follow the process, okay? Follow the process. I don't care if it's a little tiny thing or if it's the biggest thing. Follow the process, because the time that it absolutely turns into nightmare fuel, you will think back and be like, you know what? Jerry was right. Especially, I don't want you to remember Jerry said so or Jerry told me so, but I'm telling you, it is horrible when you think something's going to take a few minutes and then you realize it's not. Pro consulting tip, okay? Pro consulting tip all day, every day. I was a consultant for 10 years, 15 years, okay? This is a pro move. Do this in life. Do this with your spouse, okay? Under promise, over deliver. I'll say it again. Under promise, over deliver. That doesn't mean be lazy or don't try, but just say, hey, I'll give you a perfect example. Whenever I have to do network maintenance at my house, my kids, who are heavy internet users and are the first ones to complain when the internet goes out because Roblox and Fortnite are no longer working, I will let them know that there's a maintenance window coming up, and I will tell them the network will be down for 2 hours. So go outside and ride bikes or do something, but the network's going to be down for 2 hours. I've promised them a 2-hour maintenance window. Expectations have been set. Then I do the maintenance window, and in my mind, I'm hoping I can knock it out in 30 minutes. So when the network comes back up in an hour, I have over-delivered. I've come in under. Now, if I told my kids, hey, listen, the network's going to be down 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes comes, they're going to be up my butt like hemorrhoids, right? It's like an hour later, they're like, Dad, you said 30 minutes, Dad. And I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me, Smalls, okay? Under promise, over deliver. Believe me, you will thank me in the morning. This brought to you by The More You Know.
Alleged Ryuk Ransomware gang member arrested and extradited. A 33-year-old foreign national has been arrested in Kiev and extradited to the U.S. for his alleged role in extorting more than $100 million from victims across the world as part of the Ryuk cybercrime gang. This announcement was made by Ukraine's Office of the Prosecutor General, but no name for the person was given. Ukrainian investigators described the man's activities as, quote, searching for vulnerabilities in the corporate networks of victim companies, end quote. In other words, an initial access broker.
All right, hold on really quickly. I see @sense, K-A-M-A sense, mention the multi-million password leak. We can look at that. I know that happened late, so I probably missed this news cycle. But also, I mean, I didn't look into it, but I saw John Hammond comment on this. I've seen it, like, in case you didn't notice, like, if it looks like I've been ridden hard and put up wet, it's because I've been around the block a few times. Like the 16 million password, chances are it's not new passwords. It's like retreads of old breaches and stuff. So @sense, I'm not dismissing your thing. We will look at it, but I don't think it's necessarily the earth-shattering front page breaking news sounder kind of thing. All right, Ryuk Ransomware gang member arrested in Ukraine and extradited to the U.S. Gosh, if I was a criminal, I would not be hanging out in places that want to party with the United States. All right, so this dude's 33. Hey, let me tell you really quickly, because you youngs may not know. So Common Sense says it's all new passwords. All right, well, we'll take a look at it here. Let's do this. 16 million password data breach. I'll queue it up. All right, here we go. 16 billion. Not million, 16 billion. That's a lot of passwords. All right, we'll look at that afterwards. Thanks, Common Sense. Okay, so for you youngs, you may not know, but picture it. Sicily, 2014. Okay, that's a little Golden Girls reference. I'm sure Kimberly's giggling and Mrs. Auger's laughing. No, the year was like 2016, 2017, 2018, like that brief period of time. There was a triple threat that was just awful, okay? It was the Emotet trick bot Ryuk kill chain, and it was nasty business. Emotet would be the initial infection. It was very good. It was definitely well maintained. TrickBot would come in on its back and steal all the credentials, steal all the sensitive stuff. And then Ryuk would come in on top of it and encrypt all your data. And they were going gangbusters. Emotet, for what it's worth, Emotet was like the rock star of that group. Like Emotet was the lead singer and kind of like the, Eddie Vedder, the Eddie Van Halen, the Sammy Hagar, the David Lee Roth of this triple kill chain. Now, granted, Ryuk was like a really solid drummer in the band, but Emotet was really the star, right? The Beyonce of the Destiny's Child, okay? So once Emotet kind of got nerfed, the band broke up kind of. Like you didn't hear much about Ryuk afterwards. They were still kind of around playing night gigs, some service work at, TGI Fridays on a Saturday night or something like that. But for the most part, the heyday, the VH1, Remember the Music, like that was the Emotet TrickBot Ryuk time. And bear with me, I'm having fun. Some people listening might be like, why is this guy talking about like VH1 Behind the Music and bands? Like, were they playing instruments too? I'm just having fun, okay? So to see Ryuk Ransomware guy get arrested in the news is interesting because Ryuk's kind of been chilling for the last couple of years. Honestly, I had written it off as Ryuk had gone to the beach, right? They had taken their money, got a little villa down in like Bali, and we're just kicking it. This guy's 33, so he was like in his late 20s when this thing was going down in its heyday. U.S. law enforcement coming after you.
Regulators! Mount up. It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume.
Yeah, you know what, dude? The thing is, when you have a certain set of skills like Ryuk Ransomware, you're going to keep going, right? I don't know if this guy, exactly at Elliot Matisse, I don't know if this guy like ran out of money and blew his money that he collected from these crimes back in the late 2010s, but they caught him looking for vulnerabilities on corporate networks and trying to... Oh, he was trying to engage with initial access brokers to purchase things. So this is interesting. Really quick, they caught this guy basically trying to get started on spinning up crime. He's being held accountable for his previous crimes. I do not know how they made attribution from this guy back to the Ryuk Ransomware criminal gang, because Ryuk's not really active anymore. So this guy is part of that gang, and it seems like he's moved on. But what I want to call your attention to, allow me, if you, whoops. Sorry. That was a misfire. All right, Nate.com. Listen, that was a misfire. I apologize. So here, I want to bring something to your attention that's very interesting. The way they caught him is by they noticed him basically on the dark web engaging with other criminals who are called initial access brokers in order to get creds from them. What's interesting is this is insight into the cyber criminal ecosystem. So in 2017, 2016, Ryuk had to partner with a threat actor like Emotet in order to. Emotet would punch a hole in the side of the building, and then TrickBot and Ryuk would come scurrying in and start doing things. Imagine, if you will, like a bank robbery, okay? Emotet was the heavy munitions guy, the explosions guy. Emotet was the one who would put the C4 on the door and then hit the trigger and explode it. And then Emotet would peel out. And Ryuk and TrickBot would be the guys with the assault rifles on either side of the door. And as soon as the door would explode, Emotet would give access to them. They would peel in, and Ryuk would head right for like the file server, like the sensitive file safe. And TrickBot would go towards the security deposit boxes, right, and just start scooping up stuff out of there. So that's what's up. All right, I'm gonna put it in the bag. In 2025, initial access brokers is how you do that. You don't need to partner anymore. There's been a decentralization of cyber criminal behaviors and specialties and skills. I'm sorry. Thank you for the push over the edge. I'm putting the fries in the bag.
Telecom company Viasat attacked by Salt Typhoon. The satellite communications company Viasat, that is VIASAT, has announced it has become the latest telecom industry victim of China's Salt Typhoon cyber espionage group. Viasat provides satellite broadband services to governments worldwide and aviation, military, energy, maritime, and enterprise customers. It has 189,000 broadband subscribers in the U.S., and as reported by Bloomberg, quote, the company discovered the Salt Typhoon breach earlier this year and has been working with federal authorities to investigate the attack, end quote.
All right, so more of the same. China's Salt Typhoon. This is an advanced persistent threat actor. This naming convention comes from Microsoft's threat intelligence. China's Salt Typhoon has been in the news quite a bit the last 6 months. They are the ones who infected 9 United States telecoms, including like AT&T and Verizon, the big ones, as well as some other ones. As far as I know, there has been no retribution. There's been no response from the United States as a government around this behavior. When someone has their dog poop on your lawn and then, the homeowner doesn't say anything, you're just the dog's going to keep pooping on your lawn. So China's Salt Typhoon continues to hack. They now have taken down Viasat, a large telecom here in the United States. It looks like they have 189,000 broadband subscribers. Not necessarily massive, but still not good. I'm firmly in the camp of this is less about espionage and more about building forward operating infrastructure in the event that something is needed. But remember, in 2025, most of our society involves heavy internet usage. So if you were to compromise these assets and make them unavailable, you would severely nerf, public and private sector ability to take action because the internet would be down. You can also eavesdrop on this network traffic and steal it. You can also intercept and modify and manipulate it, compromising the integrity. Now, granted, a lot of internet traffic is encrypted end to end, right? Like, basically the first thing you do when you connect to an encrypted or a secure website is you exchange TLS keys and then the data is encrypted. But the north of the data layer, south of the data layer, right? So if you look at the OSI stack, from layer 4 down is not encrypted. You can't encrypt the address on the envelope, but you can encrypt the letter inside the envelope, okay? So, who knows what China's doing with this, but they continue to just kind of do what they want and continue to compromise United States telecoms.
Krispy Kreme discusses November breach impact. The well-known donut company has now released information on the cyber attack that it suffered last November. Its filing with Maine's Attorney General shows that cybercriminals accessed data belonging to more than 160,000 people. Along with standard PII, the haul also included financial account information, including credit or debit card information, along with access information, as well as email addresses and passwords, biometric data, U.S. CIS or alien registration numbers, U.S. military ID numbers, medical or health information, and health insurance information. Some experts question the company's need to collect this much data, as well as the quality of their pre-breach security.
All right. So, I mean, Krispy Kreme, we have one in Charleston, South Carolina. If the neon light is on, the donuts are fresh. I will say I do find Krispy Kreme's price to be high for what they are. These things are sugar pills. If I eat more than, I don't even like sweets, but occasionally I'll eat one and then get a stomach ache. If I'm a hot mess express, I'll eat two and then I'm ruined for the day. I agree with you, Daniel Lowry. Who would attack Krispy Kreme? I think another question to ask is, why was Krispy Kreme collecting all of this information? 160,000 employee records compromised. Shout out to the Maine Attorney General. As I've said, I would like to buy this individual a cup of coffee and a high five. Maine Attorney General always bringing to light these privacy infractions. So employees' name, social, date of birth, driver's license, financials, credit card information, passport. Why the biometric data? Okay, so from an employer perspective, I can get down with, socials, DOB, driver license, I guess, financials. You got to pay the person. Why you have their credit card, I have no idea. Why are they collecting your credit card information, username and password to a financial account? What the heck? Username and password, like I don't know. I don't think there's really necessity to collect all this information. Here's what I will tell you. This isn't good for Krispy Kreme. From a data governance perspective, obviously somebody was asleep at the wheel at Krispy Kreme. And honestly, this is why they're investigating what their pre-breach cybersecurity information security program looked like. If you're a GRC person, as I identify as, let me tell you something. It is easy for the business to say collect everything and we'll sort it out afterwards, right? Because if you have everything and you only use a subset of everything, you're good. There's no situation where you're collecting everything. It's like hoarding loot, right? You don't know what you're going to need, but you know that when you need it, you're going to have it. And that's why businesses collect as much data as they can. And then they sell it, of course, right? But here's the thing. From a GRC and a data governance perspective, what you really should be saying is, what is it that you need? I don't care about your maybe one day we'll do something friggin' magical and we'll need this information. What is it that you need? We can collect what you need and we can secure what you need, but what do you need? Tell me what you need. And that takes time, that takes effort, that takes resources. And sometimes the business is like, I don't have time for that. Just collect everything. Then it becomes essentially a political pissing match. But I will tell you, you could cite this as a reference, when you collect all the things and then you do a piss poor job of securing those things, you turn into Krispy Kreme. And then you get dragged through the hot glaze and get brought into the light. Now, in Krispy Kreme, in this fictitious straw man executive who's pushing back on us example, what I will say is, if Krispy Kreme faces no financial penalty and suffers no financial impact from this data breach, then you don't have a leg to stand on. And frankly, whether it's morally right to not do it, from a business perspective, playing devil's advocate, the business leader would say, why not collect everything? What's the downside? Who cares if we collect everything? Is it because storage costs money? Storage is wicked cheap. No. It's because if there's a data breach, more data will get out that we don't need. Okay, so what happens if all that data gets out? I looked up the Krispy Kreme incident. There was no problem. Who gives a right? So, being real, if Krispy Kreme gets off without really any impact, then there is a perverse incentive to not manage the data in a responsible way. So stay tuned on that. But yeah, I mean, if you ever worked at Krispy Kreme, enjoy your 2 years of identity theft protection.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Adaptive Security, OpenAI's first cybersecurity investment. As deepfake scams and Gen AI phishing evolve, Adaptive equips security teams with AI-powered phishing simulations featuring realistic, personalized deepfakes and engaging security awareness training. Their new AI content creator turns threat intel and policy updates into interactive, multilingual training instantly. Trusted by Fortune 500s and backed by Andreessen Horowitz and OpenAI, Adaptive helps you stay ahead of AI-driven threats. You can learn more at adaptivesecurity.com. That is the two words together, adaptivesecurity.com.
All right, Marcus Kyler, Krispy Kreme was collecting it on employees. Why they collected as much as they did is the question, really. All right, guys, check it out. We're going to do this. What's up, Bonnie Charles? Good to have you here. All right, guys. Shout out to all of you. We are killing it on a Friday morning here in the Bay State. Killing it, guys. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Lots of Team SC, lots of regulars, lots of blue badges. Warms my heart. It's like such a cool way to start my day every day, and I genuinely appreciate it. I hope it's a cool way to start your own day. I hope you enjoy it. I want to say shout out to the stream sponsors, Barricade, Antisyphon, Threat Locker, and Delete Me. Hold on. All right, Delete Me. Guys, thank you so much. Let me tell you about Delete Me. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from data broker websites. As someone with an active online presence, privacy is really important to me because I care about my kids, I care about my wife, I care about my family, and deciding who gets to know where my home address is or what my personal phone number is something that I should get to decide, not data brokers, right? So Delete Me helps me manage that online privacy, and I appreciate that. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use my promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, code simplycyber at checkout. All right, y'all. Holla, holla, holla. For those who are showing up late, it's great to see you. This is episode 903. Make sure you scoop up your CPEs. Don't want to miss those. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Fridays is James McQuiggan's at 35,000 feet dad joke of the week. Now, I don't have the Nelson Laugh sounder on my soundboard, so you'll be getting manual sound effects. Space Tacos, I know, loves the manual sound effects. Check it out, guys. What washes up on really small beaches? What washes up on really small beaches? Microwaves. All right, thank you, James McQuiggan. James wants you to know why were the 5th and 6th centuries known as the Dark Ages. This is actually a really interesting fact that you may not know. Everybody knows the Dark Ages, but do you know why they were called the Dark Ages? Well, if you actually pay attention to history, you'll know that there were a lot of knights at that time. A lot of knights, like, princesses, damsels, dragons, and knights. Oh, my God. All right, we know Alan Turing, who cracked the Enigma code. Did you know that his sister Kay, Alan Turing's sister Kay, she provided drinks, snacks, and sandwiches for him and his colleagues? Catering. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Thank you, James McQuiggan. Everybody, join together. Alpha Sierra, lead us off with our la 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 la's. You know the words. Do it, people. Thank you, James McQuiggan. Some really funny rib ticklers. Let's finish strong, everybody. We got jaw jacking at the top of the hour.
Threat groups distribute malware via open source repos. Researchers at Trend Micro and Reversing Labs are warning of a campaign that appears to target red teams, novice cybercriminals, and developer environments through Trojanized open source hacking tools. One of these campaigns from the Water Curse group involved, quote, at least 76 GitHub accounts linked to repositories that had malicious payloads injected into build, scripts, and project files, end quote. The intent of the payloads is to, quote, steal credentials, browser data, and session tokens, end quote, and to provide the threat actor with persistent remote access to the compromised systems. A separate campaign from a group called Banana Squad involves, quote, more than 67 GitHub repositories promising Python-based hacking tools, but delivering Trojanized lookalikes of other repositories, end quote.
Wow. All right. Hey, really quick, Steph Cluis with a super chat. Thanks, Steph. Steph said she's starting a Montana cyber group called the Montana Cyber Alliance in person to, I think it says SWMT, so maybe Southwest Montana. I mean, Montana is a wicked big state, so I'm thinking she's saying Southwest. But we'll have virtual meetups as well. They have a Discord. If you're in the Montana area or you're just looking to check it out since it is virtual, which limits the geographical restrictions, you can ping Steph Cluis at Steph. Hold on, let me do at Steph. All right, Steph, cool. Good job starting a community. Love it, love it, love it. As someone who runs a community or co-runs a community, there's a ton of people that help. It's definitely awesome, and I'm happy for you. Okay, so it is Southwest Montana. Perfect. Okay, so check this out. Malware via open hacking source hacking tools. 76 GitHub accounts linked to repos that had malicious payloads injected into them. So it looks like threat actors are hiding malicious payloads into Visual Studio project configurations. Specifically, there's an SMTP, email bomber, and secure rat tool. So this is threat actors being peckerheads to each other. The TLDR here is, number one, GitHub repos are no longer considered safe, okay? That doesn't mean they're all evil. It just means threat actors are putting malware into GitHub repos. So there's two things you should know. Number one, it could be a legit GitHub repo like whatever. Well, I guess mine wouldn't be good, but like imagine some GitHub repo that's been abandoned and the threat actor takes it over. Or even my GitHub repo, right? I have a GitHub repo and some threat actor does a pull request and they put an info stealer code in there and no one's really checking the pull request. They're just approving them automatically. So you can have what it looks like a trusted GitHub repo, 70,000 stars. Everybody loves it. Yes, yes, yes. And then in reality, it's actually got, it's a Trojan and it's got a malicious payload. What's interesting about this and why I said threat actors are peckerheads is because these threat actors are targeting GitHub repos that are deliberately hosting malicious tools. So I write a malicious tool that's used for email bombing or text message blowing up or whatever, or it's a remote access Trojan or it's an info stealer, but I host it on GitHub. Now you would think that Microsoft would police this, since Microsoft owns GitHub, would police this and prevent people from hosting malware on GitHub. But frankly,
ain't nobody got time for that.
You know, someone's got to do it. AI is great, but obviously not great enough because this is there. Threat actors are then weaponizing the payloads of those malware. So essentially what you're doing is threat actors are compromising other threat actors who are then attacking victims. I'm sure the long-term payload here is that if I attack another criminal, the criminal can't go to the authorities and complain because they're doing their own criminal activities. They'd have to plead the fifth, Your Honor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little Chappelle action. So anyways, TLDR, if you're a script kiddie, I know that term has fallen out of favor, but if you're a script kiddie and you're watching this and you're downloading malicious tools from GitHub, you might get got, so be careful. If you're a researcher and you're downloading malicious tools from GitHub to try them out, you might get got. If you're just a developer and you're using GitHub in general, either for your own internal projects or for company work, you might get got, okay? So just be on the lookout and be mindful. GitHub can be compromised. You should also share this information with your DevOps people, your research people, your engineering people, your IT people. At this point, they should know that GitHub can be suspicious or dodgy. This has happened multiple times, along with code libraries like PyPy and NPM. This is not a new concept or a new attack vector. This has been quite common. So I would assume you've already notified those groups, but if you have not, this is an opportunity.
Community organizations need more cybersecurity help, says report. More needs to be done to protect, quote, target-rich but resource-poor community organizations like hospitals, schools, utilities, and municipal governments, end quote. This according to a new report from the Cyber Resilience Corps. The authors of the report, Sarah Pawachek and Grace Mena, state, quote, community organizations as a whole are falling through the cracks, and current efforts are not enough to help them protect themselves online, end quote. Furthermore, as Derek Johnson writes in Cyberscoop, quote, experts have long identified these types of community organizations as the soft underbelly of America's cybersecurity problem. Important enough that their disruption could cause real-world harms, making them attractive targets for profit-minded hackers or foreign intelligence services, but too small and under-resourced to do anything meaningful about it, end quote.
Yeah.
Android.
I mean, I'd like to say, obviously, I don't want to throw too much shade on this one because if you didn't know, I have a PhD, and when you get a PhD, you have to do like a new you have to contribute a new piece of knowledge to the discipline, which is called a dissertation. It's like a big research project. And I did my dissertation on why small healthcare businesses suck at information security. And essentially, my findings, if you go read my dissertation, will basically, this story is like touching on research that I did in 2019, okay? Here's the TLDR. There are a lot of marginalized organizations that lack funding and resources and all the things that they need to protect themselves, and it's not getting better, okay? Small municipalities, rural hospitals, oh my God, like manufacturing firms that drive a community, right? But they're like, manufacturing. If you didn't know, manufacturing, hold on, Marcus Kyler, you busted my chops there, buddy, about that. Manufacturing has wicked lean margins too. So these organizations, no matter what, like think about Justin Gold when he worked in water, right? Like you're asked to make $1 out of 15 cents. You're asked to leverage whatever free resources you can. Hope is part of your cybersecurity program strategy. And honestly, these organizations are on the same internet as, the most sophisticated threat actors. China's Salt Typhoon is using the same network infrastructure that these like small community healthcare environments are doing. And they don't have the money to replace legacy systems. They don't have the money to hire staff to properly configure and harden their internet-facing assets. And because of that, they end up vulnerable and, basically get hacked. So I don't know how you can supercharge this. You can have people volunteer to support this, but you can't, like this, securing an infrastructure and giving people access to your environment to help, you can't just throw bodies at it. It takes time. You have to trust people. You're giving them very, very high levels of access, right? So you've got to vet them and trust them and all these other things. Plus, an organization needs to want to change. If you've got some old guard people running water at a municipality or running a rural healthcare, they may not see the value in cybersecurity. And then the tone at the top is set, right? So this is a tough one, and I feel for you, it's not going to change. Okay, hold on. Marcus Schuyler was busting my chops, and I took it personally. All right. Do I talk about that too often? I feel like I don't bring it up very often. I don't know. I'm having confidence issues today. Justin Gold told me to put it in the bag. Marcus Schuyler. My confidence is shaken.
Malware surge uses overlays, virtualization fraud, and NFC theft. An Android malware named Antidot, A-N-T-I-D-O-T.
Hold on. Charlie McBeams is chiming in chat. Been a rough but good week. Got a new job from IT technician to sysadmin, where I'm also looking to implement some cybers, baby. Come on down, everybody. Charlie McBeans.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Hell yeah, dude. This guy's killing it.
He has already compromised nearly 4,000 devices through 273 unique campaigns. Antidot is malware as a service operated by a financially motivated threat actor known as Larva 398 and sold on underground forums. It is advertised as a 3-in-1 solution with capabilities to record the device screen, intercept SMS messages, and extract sensitive data from third-party applications. It is thought to be delivered through malicious advertising and tailored phishing campaigns. A link to the report from the security firm ProDaft is available in the show notes to this episode.
All right. All right. Hey, guess what? We've got jawjacking coming up, and I just got a ping. Somebody who's been off the radar for some time just came up to Periscope depth and surface, got a DM in Discord, so stay tuned for jawjacking. We're going to have a very special guest, a regular on the show. All right, so Android malware surges via overlay virtualization fraud. Ooh, that sounds sexy. Give me some of that, right? In the words of Meg Ryan from When Harry Met Sally, which is like a classic rom-com, I'll have what she's having. Okay, so check it out. Android malware. This overlay virtualization, basically, you interface through an Android device through the touch screen, right? Kids, Gen Alpha, you don't even know what a keyboard is, right? Like the touch screen, how you interface. Well, if the touch screen has an overlay that's transparent that you can't see, you're going to be touching that, not the actual app underneath it. And it can capture your strokes, it can capture your PIN, it can capture all these things. And this is what that virtualization fraud is, right? It can have you sending stuff to threat actors. So there's a couple different techniques here. This Antidot is being sold as a malware as a service, so it's a criminal to criminal activity, and it's definitely going to be supported, right? It's advertised. Dude, these guys run these as like businesses, right? So they've got marketing. They're doing a 3-in-1 solution. Definitely Ronco action here. But wait, there's more. It slices. It dices, right? Are you following me, camera guy? The ShamWow dude? This thing can abuse accessibility services, intercept text messages, and extract sensitive data. It really is a one-stop shop. Okay. With that overlay attack, it can log keystrokes, as I mentioned before, and it can remotely control infected devices. That's nasty business. Okay, so if you're typing in your password, it can capture that. If you're typing in a PIN, it can capture that. Because it can intercept text messages, if you get multi-factor authentication through a text message, you can kiss that goodbye. They got you. The other thing that they mention in here, this is nasty business, okay? What I would say is, what's the initial infection vector, right? With all these malware, dude, like malware is super sick and they can make it do all sorts of things. But the question is, how does it initially get up on your device? That's the question, because that's your opportunity to get rid of it, right? It's like treating the perimeter of your foundation with anti-bug spray, right? Termite, cockroach, whatever. You spray the perimeter and you don't have to worry about it. If you don't deal with the initial infection vector, which is easy to do, then you got cockroaches in your walls. You don't know where they are. You see like little antennas coming up from the drain in your bathtub. Nasty, man. Deal with the initial infection vector. In this case, highly tailored phishing campaigns based on language and geographic region. So you got to be on the lookout for this one. I mean, the thing is, with an Android device, there's only a couple ways to get the malware on your phone. Number one, you download it and install it, right? So even Google Play Store can be dodgy, so be careful with that. If you're sideloading apps, I know Android allows people to sideload apps or download from other stores. Yeah, thanks for the flexibility to control my own destiny, and also Plaxico burst my own phone, which means shoot yourself. So watch out for that. And three, like a pop-up that says install. Just educate your end users. You should not be installing things on your mobile device unless you know with high confidence what they are. And I would even go as far as to say, don't install from outside the Google Play Store, at least to manage the risk.
North Korea's tricky click-fake deepfake scam. A cautionary tale from the crypto world, but one equally applicable to regular businesses and organizations. Security firm Huntress reports on a deepfake/social engineering scam in which an employee of a cryptocurrency foundation was invited to talk with a collection of executives of an external company via Zoom. The short version of the story is, upon accepting the Calendly invite, the employee, quote, joined a group Zoom meeting that included several deepfakes of known members of the senior leadership of this company, along with other external contacts, end quote. The employee found that his microphone was not being heard on the call, at which point the deepfake personas sent him a Zoom extension to fix the problem, but it was one that had been altered to stealthily download a next stage payload from a remote server. This technique is now being referred to as a click-fake interview, since it has similar I can fix it vibes as the better-known click-fix campaigns. The longer version of this story is available once again through the show notes to this episode.
Damn, dude. This story's wild. Shout out to Huntress, John Hammond, Matt Kiley. And I've heard I think the guy who runs Huntress is going to come on Simply Cyber Firesides. I've heard, I should know, I would be the one organizing it, but I can't remember if I did. I heard he's a cool dude. Okay, this is sick. So think about this for a second. The idea, they don't even really need to deepfake themselves. I guess they deepfake themselves simply so they didn't look North Korean, I guess. They contact a crypto company employee guy. Okay. Oh, okay, so they actually deepfake the executive team. So they look like the executives, right? They look like the Alex Machinskys. They look like the CZs or who, whatever. Insert crypto leader if you want, right? And they deepfake it. So now they look like you're on the phone with these three people that look like executives. Honestly, they don't really need to do this. And then whether or not they can hear you or not, your microphone can be working fine. And I think this is such a awesome hat tip to the threat actors, clever attack. How many people have been involved in a Zoom call or a Google Meet or Teams meeting, and they're like, I can't hear your audio. I see your lips moving, but I can't hear your audio. And you're like, oh, hold on, let me look. You change your microphone. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, let me log out and log back in. Can you hear me? So this is something that people are used to. It's familiar. And when you say, I can't hear you, even if they can hear you, this is literally a problem you can't fix because it's not a real problem. They send you a link to a fix that you click on and run, and it's basically malware. Once you run the malware on yourself, they say, oh yeah, we can hear you now. It fixed the problem. Wow. That's a really interesting way to get someone to run malware. I honestly love it. Nasty. All right, and then, whatever. Then they probably rob a bunch of crypto money, right? Straight cash on me.
Straight cash, homie.
What I would say is, if someone is contacting you on Telegram to set up a meeting, red flag. And then add this to your thing. I would educate. To me, this is so interesting and so relatable to so many people. In a post-pandemic world, almost every single person, I bet you if I polled this audience right now, there's 350 people here, I bet you if I polled you right now, 100% of you have been in a meeting and had the situation where I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I guarantee you it's so familiar, it's so relatable that when someone sends you something to run, you're literally just trying to fix the problem. You'll try anything at that point, and that anything is running malware. Absolutely brilliant. I am not promoting or endorsing criminal activity, but you know what? Threat actors, they are novel and innovative. Someone get Mike Saunders on the phone. I want to get his hot take on this one, okay? All right, guys, we are cooking. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, guys, because it's the top of the hour. I'm going to be moving you over to jaw jacking. It is Friday, which means we have a panel for jaw jacking. Really, really hot. We got already one person loaded into the queue. We've actually got two people loaded into the queue, so it's great to see that. We are going to bring a hot show to you today. I want to let everybody know before we boogie out of here that next Tuesday, I don't have a Luma link for this, but I will provide one. Next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Simply Cyber Academy's Lunch and Learn series continues. Ryan Yeager, who is a longtime offensive security red team professional, former Marine, he is going to teach you how to fast track to Active Directory domain dominance. It's basically a practical webinar for 1 hour showing you exactly how to use the tool Bloodhound. Bloodhound is a very, very powerful tool that is used by active cybersecurity offensive professionals. If you would like to learn this tool and learn its value, come on down Tuesday at 1 p.m. to Simply Cyber Academy's Lunch and Learn. It's free. Like I said, I will have a registration for you at some point here. Maybe today. I don't know. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber, guys. I hope you enjoyed the crap out of the show. Hit the like button on your way out. Chill out, relax, and I'll be right back with jaw jacking. Until next time. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. Hold on. All right. I was going to change over to the different camera, but because I switched to this new camera, my OBS isn't configured, so I'll get that straightened out. But in the interim, allow me to welcome to the stage the current status of Simply Cyber June 20th jaw-jacking panel. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as Fleetest Post in the Third. His friends call him Fleetest Post in the Third. I think his mom calls him Fleetest Post in the Third. Ladies and gentlemen, Fleetest Post in the Third. Hi, Fleetest.
Happy Friday, everyone.
I love it. I love it. Now, you may know him as the mustache. San Diego's own Wade Wells has resurfaced. He's reached Periscope depth. Let's see how he's doing, ladies and gentlemen. Wade Wells.
I didn't even hear the intro. Am I there? Okay.
It was all good things. Trust me, Wade. I said the most delightful things ever. And then finally, rounding out our panel, Monster Energy's newest spokesperson, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Lowry.
What's up, everyone? Good to see everyone there. I wish I was Monster Energy. Then they would just lavish me with monsters that rain from heaven like manna. And
dude, I'm gonna literally sign up for Google VO3, and I'm gonna put your picture in it, and I'm just gonna type in like info, like commercial for Monster Energy, and like having you like. Just like bathing in a waterfall of Monster Energy. Just see what it'd be worth investing in the Google VO3.
I will say, so, you know, I do Cybercast on Fridays, right? July 4th this year is on Friday, and we're going to do a red, white, and blue triple pour into a giant, like, gas station mug.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be awesome. BFCs? I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off without destroying equipment, but.
Did you have to get permits for that?
Yeah. Yeah, the county inspector came out earlier.
I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. Hey, listen, this is Jawjacking. If you're not familiar with what we're doing here, every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern on Simply Cyber, we do this show called Jawjacking. Jawjacking is essentially a AMA for cybersecurity. Think of it as mentoring at scale. This panel right here has probably close to 100 years of cybersecurity professional experience. We have all most of us have at least definitely interviewed people for jobs. Some of us have hired for sure. And we have knowledge that we want to share. Everybody on this panel wants to help you get the answers you need. So if you have a question, drop it in the chat with a Q, and we will get it answered ASAP. We have blue, red, detection engineer. Like, we've got a lot of different perspectives. GRC, right? Like, let's not sleep on the GRC people. They're people too. Even though, I'm still working on that battle. You know what I'm saying? So Wade Wells, let me ask this to kind of kick the day off. Wade, right. You've been off the radar for a few minutes. You don't have to dox yourself, but do you feel rested and relaxed?
Not yet. I got back yesterday at 2 p.m. I've been up since 2 a.m. just because of time difference changes. I was in Iceland and Norway, so I'm definitely not used to the time change yet. But
dude, can I ask you? Is there a vibe over there? Like, obviously apolitical show, but I mean, is what's going on internationally kind of being discussed in the European space, or is it just what? Okay,
nobody has confidence in us whatsoever. That was the key take. It wasn't like they dislike us. It's just like we've lost. It's like our brand is taking a hit. That's
reputational harm. It's a real thing when we talk about impact on the GRC side. All right, so Dark White. All right, so Roswell UK's got a fun question to start us off. Let me It has to do with chocolate. Around the panel, Dark White or milk chocolate? Fleetus, what do you got?
I'm going with milk chocolate today.
Milk chocolate. Daniel, you got a position?
It's milk chocolate all the way.
All right, milk chocolate's winning. Wade?
So I'm going to give you some more. Technically, like, white chocolate isn't even chocolate.
Stop it. You've just flipped my worldview.
Like, I went to this like chocolatiering thing in Costa Rica where they actually like make chocolate, and they're like, if you eat white chocolate, like, fuck you. Like, I'm sorry. So, like, that's pretty much what they said to me.
Okay.
Dark chocolate. I'm going to say dark chocolate because stouts and porters all the way.
Yeah, I'm going to say also dark chocolate. I don't need the ultra bitter, but I do like, I don't really like sweet, so like a small piece of dark chocolate does kind of hit. Does kind of slap. I like that. All right. Thank you for that. Keep the questions pouring in. Here we go. I haven't even screened this one, so let's hope for the best. Jay Fox says, I'm working on a joint venture cyber risk assessment effort. Any joint venture specific frameworks for this, or just use NIST and customize it? Let me ask the panel and just head nod. Like, this is the second time I've seen joint venture recently. I'm not exactly sure what this meant. Like, when I think joint venture, I think two businesses going together, attacking a project. So I don't know what a joint venture cyber risk assessment would be. To me, when you do a risk assessment, you're doing the risk assessment from whoever you're responsible for. You're looking, that's like where you anchor, and you're thinking, what's the risk to me? So with a joint venture, I worked at a company where we acquired another business, and during that acquisition phase, I was charged with figuring out what's the risk of not acquiring them, because they were going to spend the money and acquire them. The question was, what's the risk to us of doing this acquisition and merger? And it had to do a lot with, like, when we connect our networks, what happens? When we acquire all this applications and all the data they have, what happens? So I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, Jay Fox. I feel like this is definitely a GRC-related question. I would use NIST all day long. I mean, I think NIST is one of the best free resources out there around risk assessment, and understanding that stuff. So anybody? Wade, you got anything on this one?
I've done where we're buying someone. Can we plug their network into ours? Like, what do you think type of deal? And a lot of the times it's a lot of OSINT to try to see, okay, what do they have out there? If there any credential leaks, are they on any websites, anything like that? Like the vulnerability management team will just start scanning their entire IP space or throw a scanner in to understand what type of weaknesses are already in there. And then they threw them over to like me to understand, okay, like, is this that bad? Should we not? And there was some stuff where we're like, hey, we need to fix these things before we allow them to plug in, like, or reset a couple passwords or change a couple policies right away, where we don't suggest plugging the network in.
I like it. Also, this we did this at our organization, which worked out really well. Just a suggestion, if you can put a firewall between their network, like two networks, like two firewalls, one between your network and one between their network. So like basically it's like an airlock. So when you open the airlock on their side and let network traffic flow into your network, there's like another door there. I would advise that, because when we did this, we opened the first firewall, the big cutover, and like immediately started getting slammed. Like they were infected. And this, like, you know, like basically like the alien tendrils were like slapping against our firewall, and we're like, whoa, back up.
I had it where the red team infected the other network, and because we didn't have the proper controls in that network, they were able to escalate privilege, and then with that privilege come over. And once we figured that out, and we didn't shut down that network, we left it up and then allowed it to be pretty much a decoy, and then put in the login in place. So if we saw anything going on in that network, we knew right away, like, hey, there's something crazy going on. Like, there should be nothing in there whatsoever.
There you go. I love it. Let me do this really quickly. This is and by the way, keep the questions coming. I am flagging these. The mods are dropping them in chat. Someone brought this up this morning. I do want to bring it to the group and to the community. This was a story that came up overnight, and I'm not sure how bad it is, but did you guys see this where there's 16? Oh, wait, hold on one second. I'm sorry.
We had it, then you moved it.
No,
Yeah,
I know. It's,
I read the initial of it. I couldn't really get the gist of it. It felt like
today's my first day. Give me a break. There we go. 16 billion passwords.
I'm still
this
trying.
Just feels like it's a conglomeration of info stealer passwords. Yep. Is that what it is? Is that what you saw?
I think so. And I think a lot of it is legacy that's resurfaced, not net new. And if you look at it, 16 billion. The last statistic, it would be 2 to 1, 3 to 1 for active users. So there's a lot of overhead in these login credentials.
Yeah. So I know whoever dropped it in chat says they were all new. I just don't think that's the case.
They're not. Yeah. From at least the communities I've been part of this, we've been chatting about it since yesterday midday. I think it was leaked before this article was picked up. That's similar to what Wade is saying. This is a pickup of old that they've just threw into a large conglomerate of let's leak 16 billion, even though probably, again, I'm speaking Fleetus's point of view, it's only a couple billion or less that's actually net new.
Yeah. I mean, a billion's still bad. But
not 16.
Yeah, not 16 bad, but
so I'm looking at have I been pwned, and they have 14,985,590,471.
Somebody throw it in. Someone throw it into Excel and press the dedupe that data.
Right.
That's so funny. It's so true. Yeah. So definitely noteworthy. But again, this is why you should have multi-factor authentication and why you shouldn't reuse passwords, because when this happens, you can, like calmly go get a cup of coffee and just kind of like work through the problem. When you have this like one master password for all the things and no MFA, that's when you can go grab your brown pants and put them on and, do your things.
I'm going to give you one better.
Magic word there, Jerry. Yeah. MFA, right?
Oh my God, MFA.
Even more so hardware tokens, right? Like, I think we're just starting to get to that level where everybody's got to do this.
Yep.
I've implemented passkeys on all of my accounts, especially now that I have I have a password manager that just auto accepts them. Not to plug or anything like that, but
which one?
I would highly suggest a password manager.
All right, hey, Random X has got a question. What's a great data recovery tool you've had experience with?
Oh, not backups. Backups are the best data recovery tool.
Well, I think he's actually asking for product.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
okay.
being facetious.
Bacula.
Yeah.
That's what I use
for Linux. Bacula. Yeah.
Bacula.
I used to have a USB
works
drive.
really well for Mac OS. Like that thing is a beast.
Which one?
Time Machine for Mac OS.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It depends what you're trying to do. Like if you're talking about endpoint for yourself, or if you're talking about, for like a corporate environment. I've seen and used Veeam, and I've been really pleased with it. Veeam is like pretty intense. So, and then, it's not really data recovery, but data resiliency. Like I have like a rated private NAS, like a Synology NAS that's rated in my home environment. And, that's not data recovery, but I think it's a solid resiliency solution.
I can't get myself to buy a NAS. I see too many vulnerabilities on those things. I just have a big hard drive.
Yeah. QNAP is gross. I mean, you could just not make it internet facing.
No.
There's too many default tools for me to think data recovery, right? Like that's what I'm thinking when I'm thinking data recovery. Like you're plugging in a drive and start running a bunch of different things against it in order to pull files and stuff. But I feel like the term data recovery is large. I used to carry a USB drive with me with like a Linux distro, and it had a bunch of recovery tools on it. I don't remember what it was. This was in my sysadmin days.
Like BART PE or whatever.
Something like that, yeah. When I got it, and I got more into security, I used to do it with Flare, or I had like a Flare VM on a USB drive that then I would use that. That has some stuff on there too.
I almost, it's funny you say that. I feel like carrying around a USB drive with tools is like something everybody goes through. Like I never really used it, but I had like a USB drive with portable apps. Do you remember portable apps?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm ready for anything. And then like, I literally never, ever used it. I thought I was so hot. I had it on my keychain.
You were. It's okay.
Yeah.
So when I was a sysadmin, I used that junk a lot. Like BART PE disks were like, I had a stack of them sitting on the desk because they would eventually go walkabout, and I constantly would have people coming in going, I've locked myself out of this computer. Can you help me get in? I'm like, I can. Slap this in, recover the password or clear the password out and get logged back in. So I found them to be handy devices.
Fleetus, do you prefer working day or night?
It depends. It really depends. I like teaching overnight because like when I've done teaching, just because I just did one in London last week and then I've done Melbourne. But I'd rather be awake with the sun if I'm actually hard, like working, like sitting down trying to problem solve, just because natural light tends to be a good vitamin for me versus when I'm keeping up at like I will.
You don't mean the beer? Gotcha.
Day or night drinking.
Touche there, touche.
All right, there you go.
Screw night work.
SCole07 wants to know if learning ServiceNow is essential for GRC. No, ServiceNow is a big boy, and honestly, a lot of businesses implement ServiceNow to achieve ITIL, which is like IT service delivery. And the GRC component, I've implemented the GRC component of ServiceNow. It's not great in my opinion. It's very much a square peg round hole, like, oh, people are asking for it, let's make it, we can sell it, and not really a core feature of ServiceNow. So I would not, if you have access to free training, I would do it because large enterprises are going to have ServiceNow and you can get that on your resume.
I had two organizations that were like, one organization we were using in-house ticketing and I loved it. And like, we're switching to ServiceNow. And I'm like, I don't want to learn this. And then coincidentally, I got a new job. I didn't have to learn it. And then the same exact thing happened at the next job. And I'm like, I just never want to learn ServiceNow. There's too many doodads and whistles and stuff like that.
And I think to your point, it was built for idle. So like your service, your asset, your CMDB, and then they tried to plug in this GRC tool thinking that they could use the CMDB and the other asset inventory that's inside of it as a automation place for technical GRC or tactical GRC. And it just didn't flesh out.
Yeah.
I think we need to coin that term, tactical GRC. That sounds really cool.
I have.
Yeah.
It
sounds like
one this afternoon.
Like I almost, again, Google VO3, I want to do 1984 Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando, and I want to insert myself as the tactical GRC person wearing like a tactical assault vest, but I've got a clipboard and I'm running behind him as he's throwing grenades and stuff.
Please
and I'm like,
do it.
yes,
Please
you're
do
compliant. You did execute that grenade toss correctly. Yes, tactical GRC. Thank you, Wade.
Let's do it.
All right. Trey Black, what are 3 stories that I should use in my brief today. I guess Trey Black is briefing some people. I'll take one from each of you. Well, actually, Wade, are you equipped to talk about what happened this week?
I'm not equipped to talk about what's happened for the last 4 weeks.
Okay, so we'll punt on Wade. We'll run around the horn. I'll start first, then Fleetus, then Daniel, picking 3 stories that you should be interested in. This week, honestly, there was definitely one around MFA, right? I can't even remember what it was, but to me, MFA is so vitally important that it's definitely worth bringing up. For me, when I'm trying to educate end users, I do try to pick ones that are more mainstream and relevant. Actually, you know what? I'll pick the North Korea deepfake one since I just flipped out about it 20 minutes ago. Educate your end users that, like, hey, hey, have you ever not been able to hear, or you've ever been on mute on a call? Threat actors are weaponizing that. Did you think about that? Check it out, right? That's fun. Fleetus, wait, Daniel, Fleetus, you got one?
So the only thing I've got, and they're kind of weak, it just depends on where you're at. If you're a Windows shop and your executives are using Surfaces, just remind them of the patching update. There was like a hub issue with one, so I had some Surface users reach out to me on that one. And then the 23andMe, if you've been following it, they had another lawsuit come out this week. So people who have been doing DNA for commercial side, maybe talk about the risk of sharing information from data and privacy. You can use that story either way. But yeah, 23andMe had another lawsuit come out this week.
Dude, 23andMe is like just radioactive. Daniel, you got a story for Trey Black to?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot of Linux flaws this week that were not good. Lots of malware this week. I mean, tons of malware stuff happening this week. But speaking on a more practical note, and we mentioned talking about backups just a moment ago. Veeam had a 9.9 CVSS this week. So if you're running Veeam, you probably want to do some patching. As Jerry would say, you got to patch it.
On Daniel's thing, like there's been 4 stories. I was just going through my feeds real quick again on backups. Veeam was not the only one. There was a couple others that actually released. So their adversaries are going after backup software and infrastructure right now.
Yeah, for sure. And like, look no further than Clop Ransomware's attack of Progress's MoveIt. And there was another one, like maybe 6 months after that. That was a pretty nasty one. Basically, they're using the backup to do data exfil. Because, like, literally, that's what the software's designed for. So watch out for that. So, Trey Black, hopefully that helped you. Wade, where are you going to start threat hunting in your home environment?
Ooh. Man, such a big question.
Or is your home environment so secure that there's no point? It's just...
Oh, no, like, I don't even collect my logs. I just nuke everything once every, like, 6 months and rebuild. Like, that's the best way to do it. Okay. I think like setting up in your home environment, network, that's going to be the easiest thing, right? I use Unify. I can go and see what everyone's going to on the internet. I don't. I feel really weird about it that people use because I have people who live here that I don't want to monitor them, but I have malware stuff on. I think that would be the easiest one in a home network. You don't have to install anything. It's the choke point. And usually you can find some cool things, which I have. I found my baby monitor pinging to China, and now it no longer connects to the internet.
Nice. There you go. I like it. King Ha says, what's the most effective tool or platform for managing an organization's GRC needs, and what key features should be considered when selecting one? All right. I mean, I'll take this if you guys want. What's so funny about this?
No, I just laughed because I have no clue. I said Splunk. Yeah.
Splunk out. He threw a SIM out for a GRC need, which you can use.
Bro.
You don't need to.
No. So, okay. So a couple of things. I mean, they do make these enterprise grade tools for GRC. I've never seen one that actually helped. Like, it usually adds complexity and confusion to everyone. So honestly, in my experience, SharePoint, I know this is going to kind of sound lame, but like SharePoint as a central point that you can upload stuff with, control with, modern Microsoft 365 environments allow you, I forget what it's called. Maybe you guys on the panel know. There's like some type of internal like media player. It's like YouTube basically. Like you can upload videos and then you can, basically send them as links, and your corporate employees don't need to leave your tenant in order to see them. So I use basically this glorified SharePoint for a central repo for sharing end user awareness training, all the policies, and then for audit and stuff like that, I like to use Excel. Frankly, I know it's not wicked sexy, but
Never getting away from Excel. Never.
Yeah, so what I
away.
just dropped in there is the cyber risk framework. It used to be the old audit scripts that was put out by James and a few others when they did the CIS. So they've got Excel sheets out there. They've got threat modeling assessment tools. These are open source, free. Download them, use them. You're not paid tools.
There you go. Great option. Thank you very much. I'll drop this in chat right now from Fleetis. Did you say get away from Excel, Wade?
No, I said you're never going to get away from Excel. Ever.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know
it's
what?
It's a primary security tool. It's one of the biggest security tools you'll ever use.
Exactly. Find some. Hey, when something's doing it better, I'll replace it. But until then, no. Roger says, what paths would you recommend for someone that is most intrigued by business impact and understanding attack concepts at a high level? So I'm thinking career path is what he's asking here. And he's intrigued by business impact and understanding attack concepts at a high level.
That sounds like risk.
That's risk. That's GRC, or that could be your threat intel teams. Just understanding what's threats out there.
Threat modeling type of. Yeah.
100%. I wasn't going to say it. I wanted someone else to say GRC.
No, it's GRC. I mean, to be honest, like really what you're asking, the question from a GRC point of view is what negative impacts will happen to the business if, and then you fill in whatever the if statement is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Also, attacks at a high level. I mean, that is kind of like threat modeling, which is another GRC, more of a senior GRC. All right, Wade. Well, for the whole panel, you can also.
I'm gonna let you guys go first.
You can plead the fifth if you'd like. What's your favorite password manager?
So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've actually used a lot of different ones because like every organization I've had. The first password manager I used a lot was KeyPass because it's local. It was easy for us to like a security team who actually had to have like some shared accounts. We'd share the key file across, right? We didn't have to pay for anything. I used this other one at another company that was a rip of KeyPass that was horrible. I've used Keeper, and I've used what's the other one that got pwned that nobody talks about? LastPass. I used LastPass for a while. They actually sent me an email telling me I haven't used it enough. They're going to delete my account.
You're like, thanks for the system lifecycle management. I appreciate it.
I know, right? So I use 1Password now. I used 1Password before I worked for them. Okay, like that was just a freebie. Now I get it for free. And it works well.
You don't have to.
They got a lot of stuff going on.
It's a safe space, Wade.
There's no tech shaming here.
I know their security is pretty good.
Awesome. All right. If you'd like to share your password manager, if you feel comfortable, Daniel.
Oh, I got two.
Or Fleetus, go ahead.
I'll go with one. So first off, I have a book that I periodically write, and then I out here because I'm updating it because I'm about to travel next week. So I want my wife to have access to all the passwords in case something happens. So I have a book. It's going to go back into my Firebase safe or Fireproof safe. Second, I've used Keeper. I've used Bitwarden. To be honest, I'm a Mac person right now, so I'm using Keychain. Most of all my devices, I just let Keychain follow me everywhere I go. But the master is in Bitwarden right now. But the book is what I'm using as a secondary that I can put in a fire. So if we ever leave, or if my wife needs it while I'm traveling, she has access, which has my master password into my actual digital vault, and then it has the key password so she can just log in. And then it has the password to get into my phone, which on that flip side, my phone is my MFA. So without my phone, my wife is screwed because of my face and my push notification. So I need to fix some of that and get to one-time passwords or hardware keys, which we talked about earlier, that I can put in that safe as well. So I'm probably going to get a YubiKey here soon, build it, and then put it in the safe with my wife's fingerprint on it. So.
Nice. Daniel, you got something?
You know, it's funny. I hear all the things, and I'm like, get out of my head. I'm like Wade. My first one was KeyPass. That was when I worked in a corporate environment. We ran KeyPass for all that. And then went to LastPass for a while and I was really happy with them up until I wasn't probably a similar experience for many people.
You done me dirty, LastPass.
Yeah, did 1Password for a bit. Now I'm on Bitwarden. I like Bitwarden pretty well. And much like Fleetus, I also have a book with written down master passwords in a fireproof safe for my wife in case something goes wrong.
This is great. I love it. This is something we've never talked about, but I'm like, yeah, this feels good. So I'm a Bitwarden guy myself. I've run through the tools in the past and evolved. I really like Bitwarden. I also have the fireproof safe. One really cool thing that no one's mentioned, that if you don't know about it, I don't know why Google doesn't promote it more, but you can actually set a emergency, like basically if you don't log into your Google account for 6 months, you can have it automate a workflow. So basically if I die after 6 months, it will send my wife an email that like, it'll send my wife an email where I basically say like, I'm basically dead, right? So I've died and here is everything you need to know if you haven't already figured it out. And it'll unlock your account and allow her or whoever you authorize, it'll authorize them access to your accounts. So just if you didn't know about that, it's a really cool feature. I will tell you about that. Yeah, it's I don't know why Google doesn't promote it more often. Like I get an email probably once every 6 to 9 months with Google confirming that, you know, hey, this is configured. Are you sure everything's the right way you want it? Because you want to update the email with certain things. But I also have like basically a break glass of in case of emergency SOP for my wife in the safe around, you know, here's the master password. Here's how you log into Bitwarden. Here's how you get into it. Here's all our financials. Here's the lawyer you call. Here's the insurance policy, who you call. Like, here's the people you call and what you need to talk to them about. And it's an SOP. Because I'm assuming I'm dead and my wife is going to, I would hope, be distraught. So I want to make it as easy for her to execute or for someone to help her execute. But I will tell you, just as a fun story, I was at Booz Allen in my office when I configured this Google emergency thing, and I'm like, it's like, write the email, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, dear Nadine, I've died. The following is going to set you up, and then I'm like, tell the kids I love them, and I wish me, and I'm just sopping like a wet mess. Like in my manager came in, he's like, oh my god, like my manager came in, was like, oh, and like left, and I'm just like, so. Just be careful when you fill out this email because it does hit you in the feels as you like realize that you're saying like the last things you want to say.
So I have a similar Apple, I believe on iOS 17, turned on a feature that allowed you to set up a loved one. Unlike similar to yours, I was up early. It was like 5:15. I set it up. It sent the text to my wife. So when my wife woke up and I'm in my office, it says, you have been set up as his emergency contact in case of a death. It was a text message sitting on her phone. And she was like, that's what I didn't want to wake up to. And I'm like, I was just setting this up in case something happened. I was going through the settings, and the first thing she sees is, here's how you get into his phone if he dies. So,
yeah.
Great.
Fleetus?
Are you alive? Yes, I'm in the office, dear.
Oh, good. All right. So go check that out. Good times. Let's see. So, oh, wait, hold on. We already asked that question. I'm sorry. I need to clean this up. If you're near, so I don't even know this question. If you're near a window, what's the first thing you notice when you look outside?
My neighbor's backyard.
There you go. I mean, just fun question.
There are no windows in my dungeon.
Nice.
I have
what are you looking at?
I have a branch that dances, so I can just look out and see it's windy right now. It's very windy outside my window right now.
I love it. That's Fleetus's equivalent of like the top in the Inception movie. Just.
That's my pseudo random generator because I don't have a lava lamp, so I let the limb build my number for me. So.
I love it. So Wade Wells is drinking out of a Ninja Turtles mug, which is what I think sponsored this question. I'm going to expand
it.
What? Wow. Okay.
Stop being me.
What the heck? Oh my god.
I can't compete.
Is that a deep fake, God. Daniel Lowry?
No.
Like, are we deep mugs?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I have had this for like look at his purple compared to mine. I don't know if my video is just like knocked out, but I've had this cup for like 10 years. Nice. It's still That's hilarious. Oh my god.
Wow. Okay.
I'm
Again, hey, small world. What's your favorite Ninja Turtles character? It could be a turtle. It could be anyone.
It's not Don. It's Michelangelo because he was the one who likes to party the most. Like that was my reasoning as a little
So
kid.
San Diego of you. Yeah.
That's honestly, you're probably right. I didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Okay. Fleetish, you got a favorite Ninja Turtle character? It doesn't have to be a turtle.
I really don't. That's one thing
How
I
dare you?
grew up watching and then kind of just flushed it. Like I should probably pick it back up again, but my kids never got into it. I haven't really watched it, so I couldn't speak intelligently.
Okay. Daniel, you got a favorite character?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Casey Jones fan myself, but if I had to go
okay.
turtle specifically, I would be betraying my son's trust if I didn't say Michelangelo. So Michelangelo.
All right, cool.
All right. I'm very much in the camp. I'm a Casey Jones guy, although I will say that the character in the original Ninja Turtles movie who played Casey Jones kind of like left a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. I wasn't a fan, but I did like Casey Jones. Usagi Yojimbo, the ninja rabbit, kind of a fringe minor character, is also a favorite of mine.
Yeah, but he was kind of badass though, right?
He was super BA, yeah.
Yeah.
Anita wants to know, which AI tools do you use daily and for what? Let's go around the horn. Daniel, which AI tools are you using today?
Daily, I typically use ChatGPT and Gemini. Gemini mostly because of convenience. I'm always logged into Google, so I can just gemini.google.com and get whatever I need. And when it fails, I go, all right, you're not giving me exactly what I'm needing because I feel like you're just not there yet. And then I'll move over to ChatGPT. And if ChatGPT doesn't work, then I'll run over to Claude. Specifically when I'm trying to do like coding issues, I'll probably use Claude for that. But yeah, those are the main three that I typically use.
Man, get out of my head. That is exactly my situation.
All right, so Wade and Daniel are brothers from another mother. Wade, what tools are you using today?
So I pay for ChatGPT and Copilot, and I've paid since the very beginning. And I have a bunch of stuff on both ChatGPT, like a bunch of bots that I've made with all the doodads flipped and switched. I've been getting into Gemini just because it's more on my phone and I really like deep research. So to give you a quick overview, while I was on vacation, whatever city or town or where we were at, I would ask Gemini Deep Research to do in-depth research on that town. It would give me that. I would then throw that into ChatGPT and say, write me a script about this in-depth research. Then I would throw that into Speechify and then have a walking tour of whatever town I was in.
Nice. That's very cool. That's
so
very cool.
Yeah.
Cletus, what do you got for an AI tool today?
So I am a big Olama fan on my Mac. I was doing some automation with N8N for a little while. And then for most of my presentations, I throw it in gamma.app and then I tweak them.
I like it. To Wade's point earlier about the workflow of getting to the walking tour, I haven't done this myself, but I've seen it, and it's like unbelievable. Notebook LM, which is a Google thing, they have the ability to do text to audio in some capacity. I have seen this thing. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but essentially you can... The example I saw was the guy's like, I'm going on a vacation to Costa Rica, and I want to know, I've collected some tips from people who have been to Costa Rica, some websites or whatever, and he dumped it all into Notebook LM as resources. And then he had Google LM basically do a man and woman morning radio show podcast on a vacation to Costa Rica. And it's like, hey, what's up? This is Daniel Lowry in the morning here with Dingo and the baby. Welcome to the show. We're talking about going to Costa Rica. I can't believe it. Yeah, I know, Dingo. It's so crazy what's going on in Costa Rica right now. And then he's like, you know what's really dope is going to that discotheque down in the main district. They've been playing these songs. And then he literally is like, pauses it, and the guy who's doing the demo, and he's like, well, I'm actually going to Costa Rica with my family, so I didn't qualify that, and going to a discotheque in the evening isn't really a thing. So he intercepts, and they're like, hey, wait a minute, hold that thought. Looks like we got a caller. Go ahead, caller. And then the guy's like, yeah, hey, I'm going to Costa Rica, but I'm taking my family. What should I be doing? And they're like, oh, and it drops right back in, and they're like, oh, man, that's so great. Going to Costa Rica with the family is definitely a different experience. And like, it was like a freaking podcast. It was insane. So go check that out. As far as AI tools, I use Claude every day for work, and I use Gemini most days for personal. I don't know why I've segmented them that way, but they have. And just a quick qualifier for anyone, because Daniel mentioned he uses Claude for coding, it's important to note there's different engines, I guess, for lack of a better term, that you can use. When you select the engine or the model, the Opus one on Claude is for code, and the Sonnet one is for deep research. So make sure that you're selecting the correct one for the correct use case. Wade,
Before everyone, oh god, I was gonna ask who's been using MCP servers yet.
Yeah, that is kind of the next plus. Anybody on this call?
That's my thing this week or this upcoming.
That's on my to-do list.
All right.
I'm working on it. Yeah. James Quiggin at 35,000 feet. Dad joke extraordinaire wants to know, what is a cyber word you don't like? Wade, you can go first. It's obviously the answer's buried.
I'm not
in
even
the
gonna
question.
say it. I'm not even gonna give it. I'm not even gonna give it that.
You're
I'm
not gonna justify it with a response.
I'm not even gonna justify it. It's that word that takes two words and throws it together and sounds like a monster. It's It's not even Frankenstein. It's like a Rosenstein animal thing, like the ones from Rick and Morty. If anyone's seen that episode, I hate that word.
Okay, so Wade hates that word. Daniel, what word do you hate?
Oh, I've probably grown to hate the word gross lately. It's just getting so over. Yeah, everything's gross. Gross this and gross that, and I'm like, I'm old.
What Fleetus, what's a word you're hating?
So either single pane of glass.
That's so
or next gen AI.
Okay. All right.
There's
all right.
next gen AI. Where have I been? I've been gone 3 weeks and there's next gen AI.
Welcome to the future. I hate quishing. I think it sounds gross. I think it's confusing.
That's a rough one.
Yes, it is.
I hate everything about it. Like if I had a sticker on my car that said quishing, I wouldn't scrape the sticker off. I'd rip the bumper off my car.
There's gonna be a bunch
Pig
of
butchering
stickers.
is a pretty rough one as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yes,
you
pig
hear that and
butchering.
it's like,
All right. Let's see. Daniel Lowry's going to have to bounce at 9:45. It looks like we're there. So, Daniel, why don't you send us off a little bit?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on, Jerry. This was a lot of fun, and it's good to see everybody. But I'm going to be going over and getting prepared for Cybercast IRL, which is my own live stream. I look forward to the SC raid that happens every Friday. You guys jump in there and start hollering at me, which is a lot of fun. But we're going to talk about a bunch of cyber stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about vibe coding today. I think that'll be fun. And the fact that I had a severe God decided that I needed to lose some equipment this week, and I've been recovering from it all week. And yeah, that'll be a fun thing to talk about. Speaking of backups and things of that nature, and recovering from a catastrophic failure is not fun. But if you have all the things in place, you should be able to absolutely do that. So we'll probably dip our toe into those waters a little bit. And of course, the morning pour, or epic ASMR of a monster pouring into a green camo cup. I mean, how is this a bad plan?
No, the morning pour. And what technology did Daniel lose? What was the impact? All that and more at 10 a.m. Eastern with Daniel Lowry IRL. I'll drop a link in chat right now. There it is. I'll pin it as well so we can go over there and harass him in the most epic way possible. Thank you, Daniel. Have a good show.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. So now it's just us. Look at us. Oh, it's so good. All right, questions continuing to come in. Kyle mentioned Perplexity when we were talking about AI tools. I have used Perplexity. It's very cool, but I only use it like in point solutions. Have you guys used Perplexity at all?
Not at all.
Daniel, I'm sorry, Wade, no. Fleetus, have you used Perplexity? It's really, let me tell you, it's very cool. Basically, it cites everything that it references. So it's guaranteed not to hallucinate. When I'm putting here's how I use it. When I'm putting slide decks together and I need like a fact basically to support an argument I'm making, like I know supply chain attacks are bad. I need one that has to do with state government, and I need one now. So you can put in Perplexity state government supply chain cyber attack, and it'll bring back like 3 or 4 like cited sources of news stories. So that's how I use Perplexity. Definitely check it out. Oh my God! So we got a super chat. Hold on one second. Who's doing this? Lazaro, I think. Oh, the Cyberlorian, which by the way, I love that name. Thanks for the super chat. I hate Quishing so much now. I know I'm not alone. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, Quishing, it's gross. It doesn't. No one asked for it. Okay, it's like one of those ones that no one asked for, and it's like reared its ugly head. It's like Fire Festival. Okay, what are some of the biggest challenges you anticipate we will have in the next 3 to 5 years in cyber, and what strategies do you think would be beneficial in addressing these issues? Jesus, this is a webinar question. I love it. I can go first unless Fleetus, you're ready to answer.
Let me take it because I'm going to have to drop after this to prep for. And I'll give a shameless plug. So, I think automation, and then I think the reliance on what I call tactical GRC. I think we're going to have to see more technical folks moving into GRC to support what we're facing with cloud, generative AI, and just the human again. So as people know, I love talking about human-centric. I think the human's going to need to understand how to tactically, technically tackle governance, risk, and compliance via automation and via generative AI. Because both of those tools are going to come into play for your finance team, your legal team, and others, not just IT, in the next 3 to 5 years. Because people coming out of college, people entering the workforce are going to use these tools because they've been doing it personally to do their job. So we need to be prepared with cyber risk teams, as well as the DevOps teams, to support the automations that our finance team, our legal team, our marketing team will start to do and use with these tooling.
There you go. I love it. Wade, you got a thought on the next 3 to 5 years? And Fleetus, if you got a drop, understood. We'll see you.
Just a shameless plug real quick. Continuum Con is starting today, goes through the weekend. I dropped a link inside of our private chat. It can be shared. My workshop talk is at 1:30 Eastern today. If people want to join, I'm going to be, again, talking about the centric side of cybersecurity, and my workshop is related to that as well.
Well, hold on. Let's get all this information. So this is Continuum Con. And
it's with John Hammond and
Level Effect is here. Where's yours now?
It's today right there at 12:30.
Oh, perfect. Okay, human-centric. Is there a link that I can...
I don't think there's a direct link. That's why I gave you the schedule. I don't know how to see it. It will be streamed on Twitch, but if you pay for the ticket, you get continuous access to the workshops and the con. So Anthony will be streaming it. Him and John Hammond will be streaming it live. But if you want the actual content and be able to go back and do the labs and the workshops, you need to purchase a ticket.
All right. And this is at 1 p.m. Eastern?
1:30 is mine, but it starts at 9 this morning or 10 this morning. But my talk is at 1:30.
All right. I just dropped the link in chat for Fleetus' talk at 1:30. Go check it out. Fleetus, great person. Really enjoy the jaw jacking and the mentorship today, Fleetus. Thank you very much. Go check him out at 1:30. Link in chat right now.
Sounds good. I'll catch you guys later. I got to go prep for an interview. So.
All right. Good luck, buddy.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right. And then there were two. I love it. What's up, Wade? It's great to see you. Let me move him off stage. Let's go big, me and you.
Extreme close-up.
Yeah. Do you remember like that in Wayne's World?
Yeah, that was like one of my favorite movies as a kid.
It is good. Dude, Wayne's World was like a generational movie. Like, I feel like it doesn't get like the replay value that it had, but at the time it was massive.
It doesn't, and looking like I've watched it and I'm like, I should not have been watching this at the age I was watching this. That's another thing. Like, but it was great. I think I've only seen Wayne's World 2 like twice. I've just seen one a million times.
Number 2 felt like a cash grab.
Yeah, well, probably good.
Dude, speaking of things that you shouldn't be watching, so I'm reluctant to say this because people were busting my chops today about having a PhD in MTV. The show on MTV that I'm on, like my kids want to watch it because Dad's in it, and it really is not appropriate for children.
Ooh,
like there's
really?
a lot of adult themes. There's a lot of like not nudity, but like questionable outfits and stuff, and. So I'm just going to say I'm not going to win Dad of the Year award this year because, like, there's been multiple times where we're watching it and I'm like, to my 10-year-old, I'm like, all right, look away. Okay, you can look now. Where
can I stream it at? Because I want to watch it, but I haven't looked for it at all.
I think you can catch it on MTV.com, has it on replays.
Oh, okay.
And then certain streaming services, YouTube TV definitely has it. That's where we watch it. But it's Caught in the Act, double life.
I need to find.
By the way, can I just share something stupid, ridiculous too? If you go on IMDb, like Tamar Braxton's the host, and she's got like an agent and all this other stuff. So like on IMDb, it's like her really nice professional profile, but no one else on the show has put themselves. So I put myself on IMDb. So like when you go, it says stars, and my name comes up first, which is ridiculous. So it's kind of funny. It's like a little hack type stuff, but oh my God, actually that would be funny. If we use like Google VO3 to put you deep faked onto Wayne's World and called it Wade's World.
Wow, there we go. Maybe you need to invest into this. Like, you already have so many.
I know. I actually am thinking about dropping. It's $250 a month, which is like not
Woo,
nothing. Like,
yeah, never mind.
I mean, if I can figure out a way to like not make money off of it, but to like make content for the channel with it, maybe I could do that. I was thinking about using it to make some commercials for Simply Cyber Academy, like ridiculous over the top commercials. But
we could do that for all the different podcasts.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
two.
that would be a good idea. I'll have to talk. Kathy is helping shape the podcasts and where we're going with it. So maybe I'll talk to her about that.
That reminds
All
me.
right, we're at 9:54. We got a couple minutes. Wait, like as you're getting back into the swing of things, I mean, are you back to work on Monday? Is that what's up?
Yeah, I am back to work on Monday. I'm already caught up on emails though. I did that on the flight over. So yeah.
That's brutal.
That took a while.
What do you got coming up? Anything? I know we've been talking a lot about, Hacker Summer Camp, and we talked about Wild West Hackin' Fest. Like what do you got coming up that people need to know about?
I am a maybe for Hacker Summer Camp right now. I don't know if I'm going to be there or not. My work may pay for me to go, but because I took a 3-week vacation, that like wiped out the rest of my security plans for the weekend, for the year almost. I do have a training coming up with Antisyphon in August for the Blue Team Summit. So I will be teaching the CTI course, 1-day course for the last time. It's officially being ported over to 2 days for Denver Wild West Hackin' Fest in February of next year.
February 11th through 13th.
Yep. And then one thing I think I've talked about it a little bit, but haven't talked about. So I'm running DEFCON, which is Detection Engineering and Threat Hunting, here in San Diego, which is an on-site conference. There's only going to be about 15 tickets. And every single thing about it is hands-on. Like, it's all labs and how-tos and setups for detection engineers and threat hunting. That's probably going to be, it's going to be going on sale, I believe, at the beginning of next month.
Only 15 tickets?
Only 15 tickets, yeah. I imagine the tickets for that are going to be, like, instantly sold out. At least I hope for it. But it's going to be pretty good. That conference isn't until the second weekend or the second or first weekend of November. So it's half of the reason why I'm not going to
hopefully not the first weekend, because that's the same weekend as Simply CyberCon.
No, it's not. It's like the week. So like Simply CyberCon happens over then the week, and then that next weekend is DEFCON. So.
All right. It sounds cool. People like the name already. I guess ThruntCon was taken.
Oh my God, I hate you. I hate you so much.
All right, yo. Hey guys, I hope you had a great show today. We got a couple minutes left. If there's any last minute questions, we can definitely take them. It's great to have you back. When I saw you pop up in DMs, Wade, I was super excited. You may notice I'm in a new studio while you were gone. I actually, me and the family went up to visit the in-laws where we'll be for the summer. I've like commandeered a space in my in-laws' house and built out a studio. So I actually think it looks better than my real studio.
It looks pretty good. I was wondering where you were at. I was like, oh, he's definitely mobile. I saw the sippy cup. So
yeah. Oh yeah. This is the visual indicator. I had a regular mug the first day, and Space Tacos was like, no, we're not doing this. So I'm going to stick with it. I feel like I owe it to them. Yeah, exactly. So we will be doing if you do make it out to Hacker Summer Camp, which for those who don't know, that's basically Black Hat DEF CON week. If you do, Wade, if you're there on the Friday, Simply Cyber Meetup is Friday, August 8th. from like 3 to 7, 3 to 8.
It is only an hour flight from San Diego to get there, right? And I have plenty of places to couch surf and stuff like that. The bigger thing is not leaving my wife with the 2-year-old for a weekend
buddy.
and not getting
Dude,
in
I
trouble
totally.
for it.
I can vibe on that, man. I don't go to training at Wild West Hackenfest because of those reasons as well. And I didn't go to Wild West Hackenfest Denver last year because it was my wife's birthday, and I can't think of something less like get her a bowling ball that says Jerry for her birthday.
Oh my God, DeathCon is my wife's birthday, or it's her birthday weekend at least. And so I'm like, hey, this isn't on your birthday, but it's on that weekend. I'll still take you out, but can I do this? She's like, yeah, that's fine. So
nicely played, Wade Wells. Oh my God! All right, guys, we've got Daniel Lowry IRL coming up. Hold on, let me do this so everybody can see it. Let me see. If you do like the cyber AMA, if you do like cyber community, if you like all this stuff, you'll enjoy Cyber IRL. Daniel Lowry's live stream. I do want to shout out to everybody who's here, everybody who stayed for the daily cyber threat brief and jaw-jacking about good times. I appreciate it. I want to say thank you to Fleetus, Daniel Lowry, and of course, the very talented and very generous Wade Wells for coming on to the stream and helping everybody level up themselves and just, community. Wade, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on. Simply Defensive will be coming back soon. Yeah.
Yep. Simply Defensive season 5, 4, 5?
4. Yeah, 4.
Oh, shit.
I forget. It's just fun for me.
Hey, I literally just lost visual, so I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well,
all right. Hey, we're gonna have to end. I'm having a power outage right now. Can you even hear me?
Yeah,
right,
I can hear
thank
you.
Bye.
Bye.
I can't even end the stream.